What's up, guys? Pypo here, bringing you a video today. Me leveling my Warlock yet again. I'm actually level 82, I think I am. And I've been questing in Hyjal, of course. Usually I head to Hyjal. Did want to actually skip, the whole process and do my 80 to 85 in like an hour trick using that experience potion. But unfortunately, I've just not been able to go and camp the guy to get the potion off him. Just haven't had enough time. And got on today and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do some hardcore leveling. And to start off the day, I may as well record a video for you guys. And it's going to be on a topic that a lot of people ask me. Pretty much every single person who watches any of my stuff asks me this question. You probably guess what it is, and it's, you say you're Australian, but you sound American. Why is that? Now, this may take a while to explain. Basically, to understand, I have to start back when I was like 12. And this will actually give you like a little hint into how much I used to play World of Warcraft. I didn't play it as much as I used to, but I still played a lot, but like goddamn, I played a lot back in the day. So basically, I used to live with both my parents. My parents split up, and my dad was a gamer. Like I had already played Warcraft and Starcraft just because my dad had played those games when we were living together. Now, when I say I played those games, I didn't play them as much as I just kind of sat there and played with the fucking keys. Now, he moved away obviously after they got a divorce, and I would go and see him every now and then. Now, he got onto WoW probably when I was 13, 12 or some shit like that. Around that age. I thought I just saw a person there, but then he immediately disappeared. What the fuck? Around that age, he got WoW. And from then... Is this guy phasing in or out? What the fuck? From then, I played WoW a lot. Like, the moment he got it, I spent a lot of time there. Every single time I went there, I played a lot of WoW. And it was like that for about a few years where I would go and play WoW for basically an entire week. I would go there for a week and just play. And, that was my life. And then when I wasn't there for the week, I'd be at my mother's and I'd be a good kid. So it was complete opposite. It was like going to my dad's house, playing WoW, eating fucking shit food, getting fat, and then I'd come to my mother's and it'd be like healthy foods, going to school, being a good kid, doing my homework. Completely opposite ends. And obviously you can imagine how much I liked it at my dad's house because of that. It wasn't until I got older and then I realized like this is actually mentally and physically fucking me up from doing all this kind of shit. But anyway, that's later on. Now, my dad played WoW on American servers. And we didn't have two accounts. I just shared his account. So I would get on and play his characters, or I would get on and just level like one of my own characters. And this went on for about, say, 6 months to a year, where I didn't have my own account. I didn't really talk to anyone else in the game. I just got on and did my own thing. But then after that 6 months happened, is when he bought a laptop. He didn't buy it for me. He just bought it for himself. But I pretty much ended up being the person who used the laptop the most, just to play WoW, simply because he had WoW. And the first time I ever got an account was probably a month before Burning Crusade came out. I don't know what the exact time is on that, but I remember it was like right before Burning Crusade came out because we went to a launch of Burning Crusade. And I remember being pissed at him because he only bought Burning Crusade for himself and he didn't buy it for me. And that made me so angry. So of course, after a little bit, I fucking eventually got Burning Crusade myself. Started playing a lot more hardcore, and because I've actually like got a bit older by that point, I was more mature. I started talking to people in game, and that actually led to me getting on vent with people. And when I got on vent with people, wow, I met a lot of people actually through WoW, like a shitload. Now that I think about it, but every single person I met was American because I didn't play on Oceanic Realms. I can't even remember if there was Oceanic Realms back then. I assume there was, but I honestly wouldn't even be able to tell you. And what quest am I missing here? I have to get a codex or something. I'll have to loot stuff. That's it. So every single person I talked to on Vent was American. And already at that age, I had hit puberty like when I was fucking 11 or some shit. I remember being in primary school with pimples. That was the worst thing fucking ever. But I was already at puberty. I already had like a fairly deep voice, but probably not this deep. But it was a fairly deep voice already. So people kind of I never went through that stage of being a 13-year-old and people just being like angry at you for being young and being on vent and like having to go at you for having a whiny voice. I luckily skipped that phase. So I got on vent, talked to people as if we were equals, and this led to me having like good like friendships with people who were actually like say 20, 21 when I was 13 or 14. And this is probably the height of how much time I spent on WoW, like the peak of like me playing WoW. I mean, 1 year I had 365 days played in about a year and a half, that is like a fuckload of WoW to fit into a year and a half. Like I remember like having my troll mage, and that guy after 2 years alone, that single character had 365 days played. Like that is crazy because that doesn't include all the ults and all that kind of shit. So it's that's fucking a lot of WoW. And half the time I was on vent talking to people, and I just naturally started to pick up an American accent. I didn't mentally do it. I didn't try and speak like an American. I didn't think to myself, "Oh, to fit in, I need to speak American." In fact, a lot of them liked that I was an Australian and like came from it. Like back then, it was still it was still new to be talking to someone across the world. And like back then was when I had so many conversations about, "Oh, where are you from, man? Oh, fucking Australia. Holy shit, really? Never talked to an Australian before." And but like people would say that shit. Like that doesn't happen anymore. But like that used to happen a lot back then. I fucking am having trouble finding these things. And it started off very slowly, where I would only have hints of American accents, or I would never have an American accent for long. Like I might just cut into it randomly. And I remember actually people calling me on it every now and then. Like I remember the build up, which was fucked up because personally, I never even hear it. Like me sitting here now talking to you guys, I don't think I sound American, which is fucked up because I know I do. If I sit down and like listen to my recording, like after this, if I sit down and listen to this, I will sound like an American to myself. It's just I don't recognize it for some reason. It doesn't tick in my brain while I'm sitting here talking. I have no idea why. It's just the way it goes, I guess. And like I said, it started very slow, but I kept going. I started getting into a raiding guild. I started doing all this kind of stuff where I just did. I have to defend the egg. No one's killing this guy. And I started raiding, doing all that kind of stuff. I started doing a lot of PvP, and that's when I picked up like a heavy American accent. And a lot of people will say, "Well, do you speak like this everywhere? Is it just, is this like now exactly how you speak?" This is the fucked up thing that I don't understand. It's completely out of my control, right? If I'm on WoW and I'm playing and I have my headset on, if I had my mic on, if I'm talking to someone on event, I sound American. I didn't know this either, by the way. This only happened recently. I figured out that I didn't sound American all the time. I've never been told by anyone in my life that I've met in real life that I sound American. It's never happened to me. I should probably quest while I'm just standing here doing nothing. But I was questing with a few guys, and we became good friends enough to where we would actually like exchange phone numbers and would call each other if we wanted to like do shit or to check up on the other person and all that kind of stuff. And they called me once, and I sounded completely Australian on the phone. Like, completely Australian. Not American at all. And that shocked them, I guess, because they'd never heard me without an American accent. And it shocked me because I was like, I still have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So I got on vent, and as soon as I got on vent, they're like, "Dude, you sound American on your vent. And how come you don't sound American on your phone?" And this basically led to us doing like an investigation of them calling me and talking to me on the phone in comparison to sitting on WoW. And it must be just some subconscious fucking thing I do where I sit down to play WoW and I immediately adapt an American accent. If I could literally put down the headset now, walk away from the computer, and my American accent would just fall away. I can't even explain it to you. If you can explain it to me, that'd be awesome. I have no idea why it happens. And the fucked up thing is, if I sit here and try to speak Australian, I've done this before. Like I've thought, well, how the fuck do I put on an Australian accent then? I must be able to do it because I'm Australian. I speak fucking with an Australian accent all day. But if I sit here and try to speak Australian, it sounds nothing fucking like it. But the fucked up thing is, I put down the headset, someone calls me on the phone, or I talk to someone in real life, and immediately it's 100% different. I literally have no idea how it happens. But that's basically how I picked it up. I've simply picked it up. I picked up an American accent from playing a fuckload of WoW. That's pretty much all it was. And being on vent, and I was on vent all like if I opened WoW, I would open vent. That's just the way it was. Because back then, when I was a kid, I got along with people a lot better. Like now, I think it's just with age, like with everyone, you realize everyone's a cunt, pretty much. But back when you're a kid, you're like, oh, talking to everyone, want to see what's going on, blah blah blah. It's all interesting and shit. But then once you get older, yeah, it's like, yeah, fuck everyone, and you just want to chill, listen to music and shit. So now I only really get on vent to talk to people I actually know. And yeah, but yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, so I hope that explains it. And thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy the vid. I hope this clears it up. And have a good day. Have a glad year. And I will see you in the next video, guys. See you later.